Hey guys, how you doing? I know I talked about probably not making another talking video a while back, but I decided to pick this one out that I've already posted. The title of which was Wargaming's Fucked Up Reward System, and I go over points on why I think this reward system is totally fucked up. And first of which is the middle worship style of gameplay. And it'd be pretty self-evident here. That's why I didn't talk over this video. I just did it in text. But I thought it would be worthwhile to just go back and not only talk about problems, but possible solutions. But not that I think Wargaming is going to pay attention to anything at this point, judging from the proliferation of bots in this game, and players obviously left it and giving up on it. I wouldn't expect Wargaming to do anything than give up on it themselves. They don't seem interested in saving it. Certainly not as much as I play the game. And I haven't heard a single CT talk about this at all. Not on the console side. On the PC side, not on the console side. But in order to talk about solutions, we first have to agree that the game is fucked up. There's the World of Warship style of gameplay player that I'm talking about right there, and I'm going to pick on this guy. This guy's figured it out, actually. And you just keep watching, you'll see what I mean. He's figured it out. He knows how this game works. He just plays for the end game. Because he knows that the end game bullshit is what gets rewarded. He hides at the beginning and lets others go ahead and fight for him. In other words, do the dirty work at the beginning. And he's either gonna benefit from that, others doing the hard work, only to emerge when it is safe to mop up at the end. Either way, if it's a win or a loss, he benefits by playing that way. He gets rewarded by this fucked up reward system for playing that way. So, it's not to blame him, he didn't design the game. Wargaming did, he's just taking advantage of how fucked up he is. So, in order to offer solutions so number one thing we have to agree upon is the game is fucked up as it is. Guys are leaving, giving up on the game. Now, I don't know if people of Wargaming are smart enough to realize that the game is fucked up, or if they're to do anything about it. I suspect not. But I would like it if somebody talked about this on the console side, so I'm going to talk about it. And if you watch, not many people watch my videos, right? It gets hardly any views, but I would imagine that if you do bother taking time to watch my videos, you'll agree that the game is fucked up, right? It's in bad shape. That's why we have a proliferation of bots, and that's why pretty soon it's just going to be a player versus computer-generated bots in multiplayer. It's going that direction. So I get the most blocked. I'm going to talk more about block damage later. One here is to show this guy gets rewarded for playing this World of Warship style, where he doesn't come out and shoot, participate until the end, till he thinks it's safe, or till he's the last one left. as we'll see in the next video clip. So,
a few moments
okay,
later.
I would say if you're watching this video and you're playing World of Warships, do that. World of Tanks is fucked up. So, here's the second point of a beef with the reward system, and that's the guys who just book. They just withdraw. You know, in a combat game, why is it being rewarded where you book from the enemy? Right? Where's that rewarded? Anywhere. But in this game, that's rewarded. And so this whole team here is booking out. They're checking out. The game is less than a minute old. And guess what? I've talked about this in my other videos. The game's over. Right? The game is less than 1 minute old. And I'm giving them a bad time there saying good game because the game is over. It's done. It's a loss. In the first minute, I'm gonna die over here, of course, because only I'm the only guy in this vicinity here of where the enemy is in a freaking combat game. Are you serious? Am I gonna get rewarded for that? No, I'm gonna die. So the guy who knows what he's doing, who knows where the enemy is, and goes to confront them, doesn't get rewarded in a combat game, in a team game. So that's another tenet we have to agree upon, right? What is this game? In order to offer a solution, we have to kind of agree upon what the game is supposed to be. I don't know how that shot missed, but whatever. I just put the barrel in the air. Good game. Mock those idiots who go into the beach. And put up the barrel and admit I'm done. I'm done there. And watch what happens. I've spoken about this in other videos as well. Immediately I get mocked for dying early. I went to where the enemy is. And let's see where the guy who mocked me is. Oh, there he is. He's sitting safe on the beach. Of course. It's always that way. I last talked in a video I showed these guys. I called them the fembots. These are the bots. Man, I'd rather have bots on my team actually than fembots. They're real people. Persons. Sorry. Persons. And they're safe and sound hiding somewhere mocking a guy who's trying to do the fighting on their behalf. So here we are, there's the clowns finally climbing up on the other side. Well, you know, the game is over, right? Sorry, clowns, the game's over. You didn't even show up. So, okay, let's get back to the subject here and agree upon. Is it supposed to be a team game? It's really not the way it's designed. They're the guys who contributed to the loss are right there. Watch how they get rewarded at the end of the game. It's bizarre. So it's a team game, supposed to be a combat game, supposed to be a shooter game combined with some driving, right? Can we agree on those three things? It's supposed to be those three elements in this game. World of Tanks. World of Warships, you could say, okay, it's not driving, it's sailing. You pretend you're sailing around the island. So, but it's none of those things. The reward system doesn't reward those things. It rewards this kind of nonsense that we're looking at right now. The game is over. The game is over in the first minute. Why? Because the guys disappeared. It disappeared. in the last video, the first video here, where the guy was hiding till the end, and here is the World of Warship style of gameplay, where guys just hide and they do their damage at the end of the match, when it's either won or lost by somebody else for them. And they are rewarded by Wargaming for that performance. Why is that? It's bizarre. So this whole reward system has to be torn down and redone. Of course, Wargame's not going to do that. But the consequences of not realizing there's a problem and trying to fix it is that more and more guys are going to leave this game. It's just going to be a versus AI. You know, it'd be virtually the same in multiplayer as it is in, you know, where you're doing a cooperative. This next video that I showed here in this now I'm going to demonstrate focus fire, which happens to me all the time. And why is this not being rewarded more in a combat game? Right? So I would propose structuring the reward system according to time. Since games don't even last 5 minutes, anything that I propose here, according to rewarding what's happening at the beginning of the match rather than the end of the match, wouldn't apply to that first example. The middle example that I showed. Because the game was over in less than 5 minutes. Because those guys bugged out on the beach. And they get rewarded for that. It's bizarre. So, what I'm proposing here wouldn't really apply to there because it was over even before 5 minutes was up. It's a loss. But if you were, since games don't last even 5 minutes in this game, matches, I mean, don't even last 5 minutes, the reward system should be structured on what you do in the very beginning of the match. This would de-incentivize camping at the end. It would de-incentivize the World of Warship style, where you let other guys go ahead in the first few minutes of the match, and they either win or lose the game for you, right? Because the enemy team may not be camping at the back, they may be going forward and fighting and shooting. And therefore they win. Because on your team you have too many guys who are playing the end game role and sitting back and doing nothing. In the first example there was just one guy playing that World of Warship style and he did get rewarded for that. But the guys who went out in front of him, ahead of him at the beginning, did enough to win the match for him. Right? In the second example, and you know, as I say here, this happens to me all the freaking time. All I have to do is watch my videos to see the focus fire. Happens to me a lot. You know, I don't know what it is. They just go crazy trying to take me out of the match, and I personally think that should be rewarded. But if we just go back to the time thing for a sec, this would eliminate that World of Warship style of gameplay. If you say, okay, if you weight a time system in there and say it's going to be rewarded in this match in the first 4 minutes, let's say, or even 3 minutes of the match, are weighted more heavily than they are at the end of the match. So if you're spotting, right? If you're spotting, and right now spotting is completely messed up too. That's another thing that can be fixed. So if you're spotting, just reward spotting in and of itself, because if you're on a bad team who's not damaging the people that you're spotting, you're getting no spotting damage. Why? Because your team's out to lunch. Your teams are utterly out to lunch useless. So here I'm making a point here. If that many guys on the enemy team are focused, fired on removing me from the match, why am I not rewarded for that in this world of tanks? Huh? Why am I not? That's an advantage to my teammates. Huge advantage. So if they're shooting at me, what does that mean? That means they're not shooting at you. If they're and video examples I'm going to show of this, where they're aiming right past teammates to shoot at me, doing suicide runs to shoot at me. Why is that not rewarded in a combat game? I don't understand that. I don't think Wargaming understands that, because I don't think they have anybody in those offices who have a freaking clue what they're doing, other than, you know, we could go into all kinds of things that they're doing wrong. For instance, map design. Map design, my very first talking video, it was about a year and something ago, talked about map design. Wargaming creates their own frickin' problems from A to B in this game from map design. Map design is another reason why these games are only lasting less than 5 minutes. The maps are too small and they're too cluttered, so everything ends up in a CQB battle. Everything's close quarters. So the games there's no strategy at all to this game, other than, as guys have figured out, to sit at the back and do nothing till the end and let other people do the dirty work for you, and you just try and play the mop-up game at the end. Then you get rewarded, regardless of whether it's a win or a loss. The guys sitting at the back never win a game. The game is already decided before they do anything, right? So reward those guys who are moving forward and spotting. Those guys are trying to win the game. They're trying to do their job. And it doesn't matter if it's a light tank or a tank destroyer, even artillery. You know, if he moves forward and spots guys and nobody else shoots at him, well, that's not his fault. I mean, he's spotting. That should be rewarded more than what it is. This whole video here focusing on blocking damage. Again, the premise being that, you know, you should be able to figure it out. It's supposed to be a combat game. If they're shooting at one guy, me, that means they're not shooting at you. The last video example here is, will show dramatically what I'm talking about, where artillery gets involved. Here, there was no artillery, but the team went after me heavily. And again, I could produce videos on this type of concept all the time. And I already have some that are out already. 5,690 damage blocked. Alright, why isn't that rewarded? So often in a game, I'm by far the guy who was shot at the most, who blocked the most, took the most hits. Why isn't that rewarded? I only come in 6th here. And that's bizarre. Would the team had as much success as it did if I hadn't have took all those hits for them? Shouldn't that be basic common sense stuff? And not the Wargaming, it's not. Whoever designed the reward system is completely fucking out to lunch. That group. By the way, this is, I think, off the top of my head, the most that I've, the most that I can remember that I saved the screenshot of. 9,300 damage blocked and 6,300 combined damage in that game, which was also a defeat, by the way, if you notice. Incredible. And here we add artillery to the list. They're getting focus fire by artillery. And if you watch my videos, you'll see this happens to me all the time. All the time, getting focus fire. And if artillery guys are in the game, this is a tier 10 match. I'm in the T32. Tier 8, right? Watch how these artillery guys, as soon as I'm spotted, attack me relentlessly. Like I said in that last video, I got shot at almost exclusively. Except for that one guy poked around the corner. He didn't realize how many guys were aimed at me and he exposed himself to hits. And he got whacked. But here this is going to show as soon as I'm spotted. These earlier guys go crazy on me. And it's, if you watch my videos, you'll see this is not uncommon at all. This is why I'm planning on doing a compilation video. It's just, I haven't done it yet because I just keep adding to it over and over and over. This is an example where I'm bottom tier. You know, because guys just say, oh, it's because you're in a TD, it's because you're this, it's because you're that. Oh, fucking, as I said in my other videos, I could push a wheelbarrow around the map and they would still shoot it. They would still focus. Here I'm bottom tier heavy tank. And they virtually nullify me. I'm virtually nullified from being able to be effective in this game as hard as I try for these guys. Right? And World of Warships is World of Warships because, you know, carriers is a problem in that game, and what did they do? They made carriers even stronger. I left before that happened. I left long ago, and other guys that I know that in that and in my fleet in that game left before that happened. You know, because it's just sick of the gameplay that World of Warship style of gameplay is still here in this game, and you know, and then their carriers are the equivalent of our artillery. But artillery in this game is, you know, they said they were going to nerf it. What did they do? They made it stronger. They made it worse. And if these guys are haunting you relentlessly like that, they nullify. They can nullify. They do it to me all the time. It's bizarre. I'm bottom tier, heavy tank. There's guys in front of me. Surely there's other guys spotted on my team. But they're not shot at. They're not getting focused on. As soon as I get respotted, guess where they aim at again? The more dangerous tanks, the TDs, the guys who are much closer to them than I am. No, it's me. So why can't I get, you know, first of all, the team should reward you for that. This team should be able to take advantage of that. Hey, they're shooting at one guy, man, so that means I'm free to run around. I can expose, not be worried about it getting exposed from a hit from it. Look at this bombardment. It's unbelievable, relentless. This guy scoops up to, you know, he says, alright, I'm going to take advantage of that, because he's lost too many guys now. Like, how? How did that, Artillery never shot at them once on the other side. How did they lose it? You know, it's bizarre. It's bizarre. This whole reward system used to be weird. Things like this, getting focus fired, whether it's by the team, especially by artillery, this needs to be recognized. In that, in one of my other videos, I talked about times targeted, I called it. And if the enemy team is focused this hard on one guy, you know, as soon as he gets spotted, other guys are calling for fire on him. Artillery's, this guy right here is keeping me spotted, right? Keeping me vulnerable, of course. And if I step out of that corner there and go to shoot him, I'm gone. I'm gone. And, you know, I wasn't able to protect myself from a side shot from where the hell is that guy? You know, he's obviously not aimed at somebody who's much closer to him than I am. But he takes me out. And then the team vanishes, melts. I can do tons of videos on this, and I already have actually, where the team just vanishes after I'm gone. Well, why? It doesn't take a genius to figure out why. Because they were focusing on taking me out of the game, and once I'm out, that means they're free to aim elsewhere. And the teams, my teams, they just disappear after that. The bad teams, right? Which most of them are, because of I have such a horrendous win-loss rate. They just vanish after that. Because the object of all that fire was being directed on one guy, and now it's free to shoot elsewhere. That should be rewarded. Block damage should be rewarded. The times you are targeted should be rewarded. Right when somebody specifically hovers over you and once fired, you go down range towards you. That should be rewarded. It's not in this game. The reward system is so top to bottom fucked up by people who don't have a clue what should and shouldn't be rewarded in a team game. And it's most especially in a combat game. Look at that. I'm rendered virtually useless by two guys on the other team. Two of the most important pieces, as I said before. The artillery pieces in this game, because they're so overpowered, are their most important pieces in every match. The good guys, the good artillery pieces know who to shoot at. Anyhow, thanks for watching, guys.